Chapter 1: Rethinking Intelligence After 50. For most of our lives, we've been conditioned to believe that intelligence is a static trait, something measured once in childhood or early adulthood and then set in stone for the rest of our lives. We remember the pressure of standardized tests, the score on an IQ exam, or hearing common sayings like "you can't teach an old dog new tricks." These ideas have planted the belief that brain power is something we're simply born with, and that as the decades pass, our mental capacity can only decline. But what if this assumption is wrong? Modern neuroscience has shattered this outdated view. In fact, research over the past 2 decades shows that the brain is far more dynamic, adaptable, and resilient than anyone previously thought, even into our 60s, 70s, and beyond. This adaptability is known as neuroplasticity, the remarkable ability of the brain to form new neural connections, reorganize existing pathways, and strengthen entire networks based on experience, learning, and even lifestyle choices. Imagine the brain not as a machine that wears out, but as a living ecosystem that constantly reshapes itself in response to how we use it. So, can you really boost your IQ after 50? The surprising answer is yes, you can. But it might not mean what you think. IQ is not simply about memorizing facts or solving tricky puzzles. Instead, it reflects a combination of skills, problem solving, reasoning, memory, processing speed, focus, and adaptability. And each of these abilities can be trained, strengthened, and improved. The secret doesn't lie in miracle supplements, expensive brain training gadgets, or quick fixes. Instead, the power comes from daily habits: how you eat, how you move, how you rest, and how you challenge your brain. Just as a body can grow stronger with regular exercise, the brain can become sharper, more flexible, and more creative at any age. The truth is, thriving cognitively after 50 isn't about trying to turn back the clock, it's about unlocking the brain's hidden potential and cultivating resilience for the decades ahead. Chapter 2: The Science of Neuroplasticity. For much of the 20th century, scientists assumed that the human brain reached its peak in young adulthood and then slowly declined. The idea was that by midlife, the brain was hardwired, meaning its circuits were set in place, and little could be done to change them. Once neurons died, they were believed to be gone forever. But with the invention of advanced brain imaging technologies, like functional MRI scans, everything changed. Scientists began to witness the living brain in action and discovered something revolutionary: the adult brain is plastic, flexible, and capable of growth at any age. Here's what neuroplasticity really means. New connections form every day. Your brain cells, or neurons, reach out to one another with tiny branches called dendrites. These extensions form connections known as synapses. Every time you learn something new, whether it's a word in another language, a dance step, or a new recipe, fresh connections are formed. Stronger networks develop with practice. The more you repeat an action or a thought, the stronger those connections become. Just like exercising a muscle makes it more powerful, rehearsing a skill makes the brain's pathways more efficient. That's why repetition is such a powerful learning tool. Neurogenesis is real. For years, it was thought impossible for new brain cells to grow in adulthood. But now we know that certain regions, particularly the hippocampus, which plays a vital role in learning and memory, can generate new neurons throughout life. This process, called neurogenesis, is influenced by lifestyle factors like physical exercise, diet, stress management, and sleep. Use it or lose it is the rule. Pathways that are not used begin to fade. Just as a neglected muscle weakens, unused mental circuits shrink. But the reverse is also true: the more you stimulate your brain with learning, problem solving, and novelty, the stronger and more resilient it becomes. Real-life examples highlight neuroplasticity at work. Stroke survivors, for instance, often relearn lost abilities by training different parts of the brain to take over damaged functions. Adults who decide to learn a new language or musical instrument later in life show measurable increases in brain volume and improved cognitive function. The lesson is clear: the brain is not fixed, it's a living, changing organ that responds to how you use it. That means boosting your IQ after 50 is not about trying to get smarter in the traditional sense. It's about cultivating brain resilience, the capacity to adapt, learn, and grow, even in the face of age-related changes. Chapter 3: The Aging Brain, What Really Changes. To understand how to sharpen your mind after 50, it's essential to look at the natural changes that occur in the brain as we age. While some shifts may feel frustrating, others reveal hidden strengths that actually improve with time. 1. Processing speed slows. You may notice that it takes a little longer to recall a name, retrieve a memory, or switch between tasks. This isn't necessarily a sign of cognitive decline, it's simply that the brain's communication pathways become less lightning-fast with age. Think of it like an older computer, it still works, but it takes a few more seconds to load. 2. Working memory shrinks. Working memory is your ability to hold and manipulate multiple pieces of information at once, like remembering directions while solving a problem. As we age, working memory capacity decreases, making multitasking harder. But single-task focus often improves, allowing deeper concentration on one task at a time. 3. Neurochemical shifts. Levels of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and acetylcholine gradually decline. This affects mood, motivation, learning, and memory. For example, lower dopamine can reduce motivation, while less acetylcholine impacts recall. This is one reason why lifestyle factors that naturally boost neurotransmitters, exercise, social engagement, and proper diet, become more important after 50. 4. Brain volume decreases. Certain areas of the brain shrink slightly with age, especially the prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and planning, and the hippocampus, essential for memory. While this sounds concerning, it's part of the natural process of aging. The key is to slow this shrinkage with healthy habits. 5. Inflammation and oxidative stress. Chronic, low-grade inflammation, often called inflammaging, can damage brain cells over time. Oxidative stress, caused by free radicals, also contributes to age-related decline. Diet, exercise, and sleep play a huge role in keeping inflammation under control. But here's the good news: not all brain changes are negative. In fact, some abilities peak later in life. Crystallized intelligence, knowledge accumulated through experience, grows stronger. Vocabulary, wisdom, pattern recognition, and emotional intelligence often improve with age. Emotional balance deepens. Older adults are often better at managing stress, regulating emotions, and seeing the bigger picture. Creativity often flourishes. Many artists, writers, and thinkers produce their best work in later life, fueled by perspective and life experience. The real challenge is preserving fluid intelligence, the ability to think quickly, reason abstractly, and solve new problems, while harnessing the power of lifelong experience. The message is clear: yes, the aging brain changes. But with the right habits, stimulation, and perspective, it can remain not only sharp, but in many ways, more powerful than ever before. Chapter 4: Lifestyle Habits That Rewire Your Brain. If you want to boost your IQ after 50, you can't ignore the foundation: lifestyle choices. The way you eat, move, sleep, hydrate, and handle stress either fuels brain growth or slowly sabotages it. Think of lifestyle as the soil in which your brain's potential grows. You can plant seeds of knowledge and try mental exercises, but if the soil is dry, toxic, or depleted, those seeds won't thrive. Let's break down the key habits that literally rewire the brain. 1. Nutrition, food as brain fuel. The brain makes up only about 2% of your body weight, but it consumes more than 20% of your daily energy. That means what you put on your plate directly impacts your ability to think, remember, and solve problems. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in salmon, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds, these fats strengthen cell membranes and improve communication between brain cells. Low omega-3 levels have been linked to faster brain aging. Antioxidants and polyphenols, berries, green tea, turmeric, dark chocolate, and leafy greens fight oxidative stress, damage caused by free radicals that accelerates memory decline. B vitamins, folate, B6, and B12 support neurotransmitter production and help reduce homocysteine, an amino acid linked to brain shrinkage and dementia risk. Balanced blood sugar, processed carbs cause sharp spikes and crashes in glucose, which starve the brain of steady energy. Whole foods like oats, lentils, and sweet potatoes stabilize levels and keep you mentally sharp. A powerful way to think about nutrition is this: every meal is either feeding your brain cells or fueling your brain fog. 2. Exercise, movement as miracle medicine. Exercise doesn't just strengthen muscles, it's like fertilizer for the brain. When you move, your body releases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein often called miracle-grow for neurons. BDNF encourages the growth of new brain cells and strengthens existing ones. Aerobic exercise, brisk walking, swimming, or cycling increases blood flow to the brain, delivering oxygen and nutrients. In one study, older adults who walked 3 times a week actually increased the size of their hippocampus, the memory center of the brain. Strength training, lifting weights improves insulin sensitivity, reduces inflammation, and stimulates hormones that protect neurons. Mind-body activities, yoga, tai chi, and dance combine movement with coordination, balance, and rhythm, challenging both the body and the mind simultaneously. The takeaway? Exercise is not optional. It's one of the most effective tools we have for rewiring the aging brain. 3. Sleep, the brain's nightly reset. Sleep is like a deep cleaning service for the brain. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins and consolidates memories. Without it, neurons struggle to communicate effectively, leading to forgetfulness, irritability, and slow thinking. Amyloid plaques. Poor sleep allows amyloid proteins to accumulate, forming the plaques linked to Alzheimer's. Deep sleep literally washes these away. Memory consolidation. New information is transferred from short-term to long-term storage while you sleep. Skipping sleep is like typing a document and forgetting to hit save. Practical tips: keep a consistent bedtime, avoid screens an hour before bed, create a cool and dark sleep environment, and limit caffeine late in the day. After 50, sleep problems become common, but addressing them can be transformative for brain function. 4. Hydration, the overlooked factor. The brain is about 75% water. Even mild dehydration, just 2% loss of body fluids, can impair attention, memory, and decision-making. Many adults mistake thirst for hunger, so they end up eating instead of drinking. Carry a water bottle and sip throughout the day. Include water-rich foods like cucumbers, melons, and oranges. Limit dehydrating drinks like excessive alcohol and sugary sodas. Think of water as brain lubricant. Without enough, the gears simply grind more slowly. 5. Stress management, the cortisol connection. Chronic stress is toxic for the brain. When cortisol levels remain high, the hippocampus literally shrinks, making memory and learning harder. Stress also disrupts sleep and increases inflammation, creating a vicious cycle. Meditation and mindfulness, just 10 minutes a day lowers cortisol, enhances focus, and even thickens the prefrontal cortex. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, shifting the body out of fight or flight mode. Laughter and play, often overlooked, but laughter reduces stress hormones and boosts feel-good chemicals like dopamine. Stress management isn't a luxury, it's as essential as food and sleep for protecting your brain after 50. In summary, lifestyle habits are not side notes to brain health, they are the foundation. Without proper nutrition, exercise, sleep, hydration, and stress management, no amount of puzzles or apps will significantly improve IQ. But with them, the brain becomes fertile ground for growth, resilience, and sharper intelligence. Chapter 5: The Power of Learning New Skills. While lifestyle lays the foundation, the next step is active brain training. And the single most powerful way to do that? Learning brand new skills. Why novelty matters. When you learn something familiar, like doing a crossword, you're mostly activating existing neural pathways. It's like jogging on the same trail every day, good for you, but not transformative. But when you learn something completely new, your brain is forced to grow fresh connections. It's like building entirely new roads in a city, creating shortcuts and connections that didn't exist before. This is why novelty is a brain supercharger. The science behind it. Studies have shown that older adults who learn complex new skills, like digital photography, quilting, or computer programming, show improvements in working memory, reasoning, and processing speed compared to those who stick with passive leisure activities like watching TV or listening to music. Even more fascinating, brain scans reveal increased connectivity in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex after learning challenging new skills, areas directly tied to memory and problem solving. Real-life examples. Learning a language, picking up Spanish, French, or Mandarin in your 60s or 70s can increase gray matter density in language-related brain regions. Playing an instrument, music combines auditory processing, fine motor skills, and memory, engaging multiple parts of the brain at once. Dancing, learning new dance routines not only improves physical health but also challenges balance, coordination, and memory. Technology skills, older adults who learn to use tablets, smartphones, or even coding platforms experience a measurable boost in cognitive flexibility. Practical tips. Choose something that excites you. Passion fuels persistence. Push yourself slightly outside your comfort zone, challenge is key. Commit to regular practice. Even 20 minutes a day compounds over time. Don't fear mistakes. Errors are not failures, they are proof that your brain is learning. Learning new skills is not just a hobby, it's a biological investment in your brain's future. Every new skill is a gym workout for your neurons, keeping them agile, adaptive, and ready for anything. Chapter 6: Social Connections and Brain Power. Humans are social creatures. Our brains are literally wired for connection. And after 50, when retirement, relocation, or loss of loved ones often shrink social circles, maintaining strong connections becomes essential, not just for happiness, but for cognitive survival. The cognitive benefits of social interaction. Conversation as brain training. Holding a conversation requires memory, remembering details, focus, empathy, and verbal fluency, all skills linked to IQ. Problem solving in groups, group discussions, teamwork, or volunteering force the brain to consider new perspectives, strengthening flexibility and reasoning. Emotional regulation. Close relationships reduce stress hormones and increase oxytocin, which protects the brain from the damaging effects of chronic stress. The risks of loneliness. Loneliness is more than just sad, it's dangerous. Research has shown that chronic loneliness increases the risk of dementia by up to 40%. In fact, loneliness is considered as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises cortisol levels, disrupts sleep, and accelerates cognitive decline. Building and maintaining social networks after 50. Clubs and groups. Join a local walking club, book club, or hobby group. Shared activities strengthen bonds. Volunteering, helping others creates purpose, combats isolation, and challenges the brain with problem solving and new environments. Mentorship, sharing your skills with younger generations stimulates memory recall and communication. Digital connection. While face-to-face is best, video calls and social platforms can help maintain long-distance relationships. The numbers don't lie. Research shows that people with rich social networks have up to a 70% lower risk of cognitive decline compared to socially isolated individuals. Strong relationships don't just protect the brain, they extend life expectancy, improve mood, and boost resilience against stress. Your brain is not a solo organ. It is social by design. Every meaningful conversation, every laugh with a friend, every shared challenge is like a workout session for your neurons. To truly boost your IQ after 50, connection is not optional, it's essential. Chapter 7: Technology, Friend or Foe. Technology has become so deeply woven into modern life that it's impossible to separate our daily routines from screens, apps, and digital tools. For people over 50, this presents a paradox. On the one hand, excessive passive screen time, like endlessly scrolling social media or binge-watching television, can reduce attention span, impair memory, and encourage a sedentary lifestyle. On the other hand, when used intentionally, technology can become a powerful ally in boosting brain function, strengthening cognitive resilience, and expanding lifelong learning opportunities. The downside of digital overload. Passive screen time, watching television or endlessly browsing social feeds is cognitively low demand. It doesn't stimulate new neural connections, and over time, this can dull attention and reduce mental flexibility. Information overload, the constant flood of notifications, emails, and updates can overwhelm the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus and decision-making. Sleep disruption, blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, making it harder to fall asleep and reducing deep sleep quality, which is critical for memory consolidation. Sedentary trap, hours of sitting while using technology reduce blood circulation, which is harmful to both brain and body. These risks don't mean we should avoid technology, it means we must use it mindfully. The upside, technology as a brain-enhancing tool. When approached strategically, technology can become a cognitive enhancer. Brain training apps. Platforms like Lumosity, Elevate, or BrainHQ offer exercises targeting memory, processing speed, and reasoning. While they are not magic bullets, research shows that consistent practice leads to measurable improvements in attention and working memory. The key is regular, short sessions, 10 to 15 minutes a day, rather than marathon sessions. Educational platforms. Online learning has exploded, with platforms like Coursera, Masterclass, and Duolingo. Whether it's learning a new language, studying history, or exploring neuroscience itself, these courses provide structured mental challenges that push the brain to adapt. Novelty is crucial, the brain thrives when tackling something unfamiliar. Connection tools. For adults over 50, maintaining strong social networks can be life-changing, and technology bridges distance gaps. Video calls allow for face-to-face interaction with distant family. Online forums and groups offer communities around shared interests, gardening, music, health, or even brain training challenges. These digital interactions stimulate conversation, empathy, and perspective-taking, which are all cognitive workouts. Creative outlets. Technology also opens doors to creativity, digital art apps, photography editing, music production software, or writing platforms. Engaging in creative projects forces the brain to integrate logic, imagination, and problem-solving. The key, balance and intentional use. Think of technology as a tool, like a hammer. In skilled hands, it can build bridges; used poorly, it can cause harm. Set screen time boundaries, limit passive scrolling and replace it with active digital learning. Practice digital hygiene, turn off unnecessary notifications, schedule tech-free hours, and avoid screens before bedtime. Choose active over passive, reading an online article, taking a course, or video chatting is more brain-healthy than endless TV. In short, technology isn't the enemy of intelligence, it's how you use it that matters. For those after 50, the right digital habits can open new pathways to lifelong growth. Chapter 8: The Role of Nutrition and Supplements. Your brain is the most energy-hungry organ in your body. Even at rest, it consumes around 20% of your daily calories. That means every bite you take is either fueling cognitive clarity or contributing to mental fog. After 50, nutritional needs shift. Metabolism slows, absorption of certain vitamins declines, and inflammation becomes a greater threat to brain health. Nutrition thus plays a central role in whether your brain thrives or declines with age. Brain-boosting nutrients. Omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Found in salmon, mackerel, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds. Strengthen cell membranes, improve neurotransmission, and reduce brain inflammation. Studies show that adults with higher omega-3 intake have larger hippocampal volumes and slower cognitive decline. B vitamins, B6, B12, folate. Critical for neurotransmitter production and regulating homocysteine levels. High homocysteine is linked to brain shrinkage and increased dementia risk. After 50, absorption of vitamin B12 declines, making supplementation often necessary. Vitamin D. Known as the sunshine vitamin, it plays roles in mood regulation and cognitive performance. Deficiency is common after 50 and linked to depression and increased dementia risk. Polyphenols and antioxidants. Found in green tea, blueberries, dark chocolate, olive oil, and turmeric. Protect neurons from oxidative stress, improve blood vessel function, and enhance memory. Magnesium. Essential for over 300 biochemical reactions, including nerve transmission and sleep regulation. Low magnesium levels are linked to anxiety, poor memory, and insomnia. Supplements, when and how to use them. Supplements can help if deficiencies exist, but they are not magic pills. Food should always form the foundation. Supplements serve best as a safety net, not a replacement. When useful, if blood tests show deficiencies, common with B12, vitamin D, magnesium. When risky, oversupplementation can cause imbalances or toxicity. Always consult a healthcare provider before starting. Remember, brain nutrition is about consistency. A single blueberry won't sharpen memory, but a lifelong habit of nourishing your brain will. Chapter 9: Tracking and Measuring Cognitive Progress. One of the challenges of brain health is that progress is less visible than weight loss or muscle gain. You can't step on a scale and instantly measure mental sharpness. But there are effective ways to track cognitive improvements, and doing so helps reinforce motivation. Ways to track. Cognitive tests. Online platforms offer assessments of memory, processing speed, and reasoning. Regular check-ins every few months can show subtle improvements or early warning signs. Learning milestones. Are you remembering new words in Spanish more easily? Do you solve puzzles faster or play a musical piece more smoothly? Tracking progress in skills provides tangible proof of growth. Lifestyle journals. Keep a notebook to log sleep, exercise, stress, and diet. Patterns will emerge. Better sleep may align with sharper memory days. Mood and energy. Mental clarity often shows up as improved mood, greater focus, and steady energy. A weekly self-check of how alert and positive you feel can be just as telling as formal tests. Why tracking matters. Without feedback, it's easy to underestimate progress. Small improvements compound over time, and recording them makes the journey more rewarding. Tracking also helps you adjust. If stress or poor sleep is holding you back, you'll see it in your notes. Chapter 10: Thriving with a Sharper Mind After 50. So, can you boost your IQ after 50? The answer is yes, but the secret lies in redefining what intelligence truly means. It's not about memorizing facts or scoring high on standardized tests. It's about resilience, adaptability, creativity, and wisdom. The new definition of intelligence after 50. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from challenges, stay focused, and learn from mistakes. Adaptability, willingness to embrace new skills, technologies, and experiences. Creativity, integrating life lessons into innovative problem solving. Wisdom, seeing patterns, understanding perspectives, and making better decisions. These qualities become stronger, not weaker, after 50 when the brain is nourished and challenged. The path to cognitive thriving. Lifestyle foundations, nutrition, exercise, sleep, hydration, and stress management. Lifelong learning, continuously seek novelty and challenge. Social connection, stay engaged with people, ideas, and communities. Technology as a tool, use digital resources to enhance, not replace, real engagement. Tracking progress, celebrate small wins and stay motivated. The takeaway. Your brain is not in decline, it is evolving. With the right choices, the decades after 50 can be your most intellectually vibrant years. Boosting IQ at this stage isn't about becoming a genius overnight. It's about creating a lifestyle that allows your brain to thrive, sharper memory, quicker reasoning, better problem solving, and deeper creativity. And perhaps the most powerful truth is this: intelligence after 50 isn't just about mental speed. It's about integrating knowledge with wisdom, compassion, and perspective, making your mind not only sharper but also richer.